So today we're gonna talk about a story that's already 5 years old, but it's just the most hilarious thing that happened in the chess world. Honestly, I don't think a lot of things can top it. What you're seeing in front of you right now is a charity event fundraiser where Fishy Anand, the former 5-time world champion and one of the greatest chess players of all time, is dueling against a couple of celebrity amateurs. Now, what a normal person would do when they go to a fundraiser is they would think to themselves, oh, this is really cute. I get to raise money for a good cause while having a good time. I am going to lose the chess game, of course, but I'm doing it for a good cause and I can have a lot of fun. In comes the mad lad, the absolute unit, Nikhil Kamath, who decided to go to this charity fundraiser and make it all about him because he's such a special little snowflake. This is about charity. It's about me. And I like so cool. I like so good at chat. I could totally beat viswanathan as a 400 rated ELO player. Yes, of course, Nikhil. Something that should be noted about Nikhil. He was India's youngest billionaire. And there's a ChessBase article about this. They go about like some of the cheating stories and it's hilarious to me. Nikhil mentions how chess helped him in the stock market game as well, as some of the principles of chess and stock markets overlap. Guys, in the stock market, you should never trade down queens in an opposite color bishop position. The exact same principles. And you know what? He has a pretty good point, because when you're playing a chess game, you can play it yourself, but you can also outsource it to AI for better profit margins. And you might be thinking, no one can be that stupid, right? A bit of a spoiler. Fishy lost this game.
Oh, we're looking at Nikhil Kamath, India's youngest billionaire. He was a state-level chess player long ago, even though he says that I don't remember any of it.
He was a real state-level chess player. That's why he blundered a pawn in the first moves and then decided to cheat.
He's still developing his pieces. He might play on for a while.
No, he's got to absolutely destroy Fishy from this position down a full pawn in a horrible position. With like a space disadvantage, a pretty bad bishop on e7, weakness on c6 that the knight can jump into. But from all of this, he's gonna absolutely destroy Fishy. Let's look at that game. Alright, Fishy has the white pieces, Nikhil has the black pieces, and Fishy opens with knight to f3. This is called the reti. Honestly, it transposes into a lot of things. Mostly into d4 or c4 openings, but you can also play g3 and play King's Indian attack. Lots of things you can do. Now, what is the main upside to playing knight f3 compared to playing c4? Well, mostly you kind of allow and disallow different things. If you start with the move knight to f3, black can play d5, and now c4 takes up a slightly different nature compared to 1 c4 pawn d5, because now you would normally just take and play knight c3. This is just an even further improved version of the Scandinavian for white, considering you keep your central pawns. While with knight f3, d5, c4, you can't immediately take. However, with c4, you allow the move 1 e5, which is a very sharp way of playing against the English, and actually also the most principled way, since you put your e-pawn in the center of the board. So knight f3, if you want to play it like an English, is mostly in order to prevent the opponent from playing the pawn to e5. So of course black plays the move pawn to e5, just immediately handing a pawn. You can't do this against the former world champion. This is just not okay. So knight takes e5, and at this moment, Nikhil was probably thinking to himself, I just blundered a pawn. I did all this bragging about chess being the exact same thing as the stock market. Oh no, now people might assume that I'm stupid for not beating a former world champion in chess. I might as well cheat now. Now, he used a 5-year-old engine. Your computer might disagree, but he played pawn d6, which is a logical move. You're kicking the knight from the center, where it stands quite good. Like, for example, if you go d5, which is another completely sensible move. Now the knight stands here, and after d4, it looks a little bit like a Petrov, but you're down time, and you've lost the pawn for no reason. So we play d6, knight back to f3, and knight c6. If Fishy just played a normal move, pawn d4, it's always good to put pawns in the center of the board. Also frees up your pieces. An alternative probably would have been like e4 as well, putting the other pawn in the center instead. But then like knight f6, knight c3. Now black needs to prevent you from playing d4. Now this would have been another good way to play. Now my computer here really likes to move pawn to d5, which is a slight waste of time, but it does allow this bishop to develop outside of the pawn chain. However, knight f6 is close behind, and as I said, this game was played about 5 years ago. Computers have changed since then. Nowadays engine preferred d5, but it could be that back in the day they preferred knight f6. They play pawn to d5. We forever keep this bishop trapped, and after knight to c3, which is just a development move, and bishop e6, e7, we get to play the move pawn to e4. This central structure over here, it is a little bit finicky because we have some dark square weaknesses. That being said though, it is actually really shockingly hard for black to ever undermine this, because f5 is a weakening of the kinside structure, while also, you know, right now not even being a remotely possible move. And c6 is highly unpractical. Pardon, c5 is horrible. And c6 is a highly impractical move to try and play, because you can just always chop, and even the queen trade isn't a problem, because this just completely ruins the pawn structure. Yes, black has managed to solve the problem of the bishop, but we're still down material in an endgame with an inferior pawn structure. This should just be losing. We can develop the bishop out, and it doesn't really matter what black does. We always secure the e2 square in case the rook gives a check. This position just looks super pleasant for white. What I'm trying to say is this center is really hard to undermine. So for now, at least, white just has a very solid space advantage. Black here decides to castle, white plays bishop e2, a very normal development move, to be honest. It's not really clear where else this bishop would even go. It's best to develop this over the dark square bishop, which can either go to like e3, f4, or g5. So bishop e2 makes a lot of sense. Here black plays pawn to c6. Hey, wait a minute, I thought we couldn't play pawn to c6. Yeah, I would say as well, like knight takes e5, pawn takes back, and now we just chop. It doesn't matter that this trade can happen. Now we can just take back with the bishop. We take back here, and we're just better. Now, I don't know why Fishy chose not to play like this. It could be that his move is actually just better, considering that he's playing a simul. It could be that he just wanted to keep the queens on, considering his opponent is only rated 200, so he could just put this game away quickly. So he played castles instead, allowing his opponent to take on d5, and then we take back. Black here plays the move pawn to a6. I don't exactly know. Let's see, what is a logical move from this position? Imagine we just tried playing rook e8. Puts a rook on the half open file. It clears the f8 square for the bishop to potentially tuck away to. Is there a threat of anything ever going to b5? Because now if here, you can just try and trade off material, right? So yeah, a6 is slightly a mysterious move to me. I presume it's the top line of the computer still. Yeah, still to this day, a6 is the best move. It might be some sort of Sicilian-esque idea to start a minority attack and use the half open c file for counterplay. It seems like a very coherent plan. Alright, so we have no play anywhere else, so we should look for play here. b5 looks like a horribly counter-positional move for black. I wouldn't even play a4 here, which would be the move if you want to address this threat, because now obviously you can't play b5 since you just hand the pawn. We can't take back because the rook would be handing, but I wouldn't even address this because any move. Let's say we just play h3, right? We have a space advantage, so this is logical. If they play b5, they are chronically weakening their position, namely the c6 square, which is of course not what Nikhil was thinking about when he played the move pawn to a6 at all. He just looked at his screen. So Fishy played rook e1 and pawn to b5. Yeah, Fishy played a3, which to me makes a lot of sense. This plan is to expand on the queen side, generate active play, but honestly, we can address it with a3, and now in the past two moves you haven't developed, and you've likely created weaknesses for yourself. Pawn h6. Another pretty mysterious move, to be honest. I suppose, like, black could have gone bishop g5. What would have happened if they'd gone h6 now? Ah, knight e5. Yeah, that makes sense. So if you take the bishop, I get access to the c6 square. That's just completely horrible, meaning that after knight takes, you have to take back. Now we can take the knight here. Now, I don't know if I want to play like bishop f3 or like knight e4. Both seem very normal to me. Maybe it does something in the event of the capture. Maybe that could be it. So if we play bishop e7, knight takes, pawn takes. Bishop f3 seems very normal. Is there now some sort of threat? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Here takes, takes. Let's say we go bishop here. Now there's bishop g5. Oh my god. So h6 is playing against this idea, like of bishop f3, because just bishop d6 and you can no longer set up the pin. Oh wow. Rated 400 elo, by the way, this guy.
But he also started his first business at 14. He started, उन्होंने अपने friend के साथ ये करा जहाँ where they were buying and selling used phones.
I have no idea what you just said. But yeah, insane move. So Fishy looked at this and said, you're an idiot. 94, and I'm just gonna get in here. So bishop d7, just further controlling this square. But what I will say, you understand that your bishop shouldn't go to b7, but it should instead go to the d7 square. I presume the main difference is that we don't control f5. So here there might be knight f5, which is a really nice attacking square. The knight can also not be kicked with g6, because that would drop the h6 pawn. There are various sacrificial motifs. Probably not right now, because black has a lot of pieces near the king, but maybe in the future. So yeah, so that's why we go to d5 d7 instead of bishop e7, because knight f5 is maybe a problem. Bishop f4. By the way, the advantage is already dropped to about +1. And Fishy is like a former world champion, but I get the same thing when they're playing cheaters. If they play a bad opening, right, that just blunders a pawn, and you get a nice position, and then none of your ideas start working, they'll make some strange little moves, and your advantage just evaporates. And you still think you're better, but you're not. And then they just squeeze you to death out of nowhere. It's insane. You just play one inaccuracy, and you just get blown off the board. So rook c8, which is at least a normal move for putting a rook on a half-open file, so it makes sense. Bishop f3. You might be wondering, why would black just take this over here? Well, turns out black would prefer white to take, because they take back knight f3, I presume. Bishop d6. Still, again, h6, very important, keeping g5 at bay. Suddenly, all of their pieces are kind of struggling over each other. You're still down a pawn, but black has suddenly become so incredibly active. And this can spiral out of control really quickly anyway, because like e4, rook e8, and these bishops just come to life. The queen is gonna find a way, and like, this is horrible. But then bishop f3. We're putting the bishop on the long diagonal. Also, we further control c6, right, which is a weak square. And if knight takes, well, I mean, okay, that's fine. My queen stands pretty nicely here. Black has traded off this kind of strong piece for the bishop on f3 that wasn't doing a whole lot. And what it was doing, namely controlling c6, is now being done by the queen. Queen b6 was played. A potential downside is there might be bishop e3, but I think the main argument is that now we just move the queen back. The queen has improved from d8. The bishop likely stands a little bit better on f4. So yeah, bishop e3 isn't a huge downside at all. So now we chop the knight. Now rook takes is very risky. Oh wait, there's bishop c5, no? Oh, that's painful. Knight e2 or something. But then this rook is like locked out of the game. Yeah, so rook takes pawn, a bit clunky. It's that knight c6, which is apparently somehow inferior to this line. This looks like bad to me. Bishop c5 anyway, but now we can maybe just defend, no? Okay, Fishy chose queen e2. Is there something wrong with rook e2? Queen e2 does seem like it would do more. This bishop is still controlling the knight, so like chop in here doesn't make any sense. Rook e8, and now we need to make sure our bishop, like maybe knight e4, because now if we chop here, I have takes. Oh, is there like take takes f5? Yeah, and now your bishop still gets trapped. So there we go here with the bishop, so that you can take back with the queen. No, of course not. That's just bishop f2. Oh no, you're just losing. Wow. This is such a big threat. You have to engage with this capture. Oh no. We can't immediately win with bishop d6, because knight takes counterattacks the queen, so... And we can't deal with it by moving the bishop away. I mean, the knight is only attacked once, so I presume we can just like move the queen out of the way and we're fine. Oh, wow. Rook takes. Yeah, that is really nice. Queen takes, bishop f2. And we get the exchange back. But after all of this, white is still up a pawn. Also, looking at the game again, why wouldn't we go to h1? Oh, just rook e8. Yeah, okay. Right. Aha. Do you know what the point of pawn to b4 is? First of all, making use of the fact that the white king is an f1, right? So we have always a bishop e5, and we're attacking b2. So like you engage with this. Now I just have a target. So like, for example, this trade would be awful to make. There's probably even like... Oh, the tactics don't quite work. Yeah, but like queen b2 at the very least, now we're threatening the knight. And if the knight moves, we also always have this check. So yeah, so rook a2. Really, only an engine could force a world champion to play a move like rook a2. Wow, bishop b5. What happens if we retreat here? Also, maybe more presently, what happens if we take? Oh, this is queen c4, right? Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, here Nikhil makes the only inaccuracy of the game afterwards by retreating the queen. Presumably, he was feeling a little bit self-conscious about just absolutely destroying Fishy, because he kept the game pretty equal up until this point, but he probably didn't just want to destroy him completely. Can I even find the win in line? Okay, so the queen is heading. Well, the queen trade seems to be pretty favorable for white still. So we also don't have time to do any move like pressuring the knight or something. Something like bishop e2. So we take back. I mean, if it was my game, I would probably just take this. And that's pretty good. There's a better move, though. I mean, we could win this pawn. Okay, that's apparently better. Fair. Okay, something like that. So instead we retreat. And king g1. That's fair. Okay, rook c2. Knight c3. Bishop d7. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, this isn't terribly suspicious, actually, so far. I say that, but isn't this bad? Like, bishop takes, knight takes, check... Here. That's a fork, no? Oh, that's just queen g6? Wait, what? This just loses, no? Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, what is bishop g4? I was gonna say like, oh yes, this is all decent, logical moves. So like the line, yeah, take, check, here. And this just hands everything. Queen g6 is there, but like I said, the queen trade is like not clear in the slightest. There's a mate, I guess. So I do suppose we have to drop the rook back, but... Oh, this was all played in the game too. But wait, bishop g4 seems like a horrible blunder. What is this? Apparently it's -6 now. What is the line? Vishy also played it. g6. Oh. What? What is G? No, this is such bull. This is such bull. I wouldn't expect anyone here to find bishop g4. What is that move? It just hands every piece on the board at once. It's all forced. Take, check. And now g6 and apparently you're fine. What? Why can't I just take anything? Let's just quickly analyze. First of all, what happens here? So I presume queen h2, king f1, and now there's just knight e3. Okay, so you can't take the rook. Why not take the knight? I suppose I'll just find out. Queen c5, king h1. Oh, wow. And now queen takes d5, and the rook is hanging. Oh, wow. My man rated about 400 elo. Played bishop g4 because he saw in the variation here, he'd hand both of his pieces, but after g6, queen h2, that would be queen h2, king f1, knight e3, picking up the queen. And if instead of that, Vishy had taken the knight, he saw queen c5, king h1, because king f2 just blunders, queen f2 mate. So then after king h1, there would be rook c1, there's knight blocks, there's queen d5, and the rook in the corner is missing. He saw that. Okay. Right. Yes, a move I wouldn't find if you give me a full day to look at this position. He just knows. He sees everything. Yeah, and he just resigned. Yes. So after the game, there was a little interview in which he said, I think I got really lucky on the knight and bishop exchange. I think I didn't even see that the mate was covered on the other end, and that thing changed it for me. So here, you commentators, right, they reached this position. Nikhil played the move bishop g4, which is, by the way, the most suspicious moment of the entire match, and the commentators dropped in at that moment.
Oh.
Wait, what?
What?
Okay, what is the tactic? What comes to your mind here? Knight g4. So now he goes, you know, here one of the ideas that I was thinking about was this tactical trick of going queen
By the way, something about Tanya, she always suggests like, like really insane.
h2, king h2, knight g4, forking the king and the queen, and then winning the queen. But instead of doing this, Nikhil decided to keep the queens on the board, and he's threatening to checkmate Vishy.
But what happened in this game? How did Vishy sir blunder like...
How did Vishy blunder? The line is completely mentally insane. He's playing 5 games at the same time and he has 10 minutes left on the clock. He is not gonna find the idea of bishop g4. So yeah, like I said, Vishy lost the game. And there was a little post-game interview, I believe.
Please, Vishy, please you tell us what happened.
About that. Tell us what happened.
Poor Vishy. Just played against Stockfish and now he has to tell people what happened.
And Nikhil, did you even expect this would happen today?
I think I got really lucky.
He just got really lucky, guys. That's all that happened. Nikhil brings the humble win. He's so humble, guys. He's so humble. He just got...